This is Culture Unmasked. This is Madison Hawthorne with Golden Tree Publishing. You can find us on Instagram at Golden Tree Publishing, and you can find us on Facebook at Golden Tree Publishing. On YouTube, it's Golden Tree TV. But you can check us all out there. You can pick up our main titles, Unicorn Melee and Eta, which are out on Comixology. You guys want to go ahead and introduce yourselves, Ray?
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Raymond Youngblood. I am a freelance digital artist. You can find me on Instagram at Ray's Arts, RAIZ_ARTS. I am also in the process of creating a comic book as well.
What's happening, all? Chris Newman. I do a little bit of everything with a minor in art. And you can find me on Instagram at Chris Newman216. And then right now in the process of creating or finishing a book up, a children's book. And, got a little other projects going on, and also started creating shirts and clothes. So hopefully you can find that on my Instagram and website here in the future, not too soon. So back to you, Madison.
Cool. So I guess since the last time we did this, anything new you guys seen, or anything thing you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, it's weird. I actually had a pretty bingy weekend so far. I finished the final season of that She-Ra show.
Okay.
It was cool. It kind of went in a way that, I expected it to go towards the very end. But just because you expect something doesn't mean that it's terrible TV. I think that, that's something that I've got to come to grips with. I'm a writer, so plot points and things like that are going to, if you write stories, you're going to kind of have an idea of how certain plots are going to go. But that doesn't mean it's bad. Check out She-Ra, it's good. That's all I can say on that. My second thing that I watched, I have a goddaughter, and so we've been taking turns, my, brother and I, we've been taking turns buying kids movies. And so, it was my turn. So I bought Scoob, and, Scoob was good for me, but I can also understand why a lot of people wouldn't like it. And it's weird. I don't see a lot of movies where I can see both sides of the argument. Unless I didn't enjoy it. But I enjoyed this film, but I can definitely see where other people, especially diehard Scooby-Doo fans, may not have enjoyed it as much.
That's the one that's computer animated almost.
Yeah, it's beautiful. The animation, I've not heard anybody complain about the animation. It was the plot that more so made certain people upset.
Did they change character stuff, canon?
No, yes and no. So it was more of an action adventure movie instead of a mystery movie. And certain parts, I'm glad that they didn't insult our intelligence. They let us know who the main bad guy was right away, which if you're a Hanna-Barbera fan, you kind of already knew who they were aiming for the bad guy to be, just by watching the trailers. But they hit the ground running really fast. It's a really fast-paced movie. And then at times it starts, towards the end it really gets absurd. But it's so fast-paced and there's no real mystery that it kind of kills your junior detective vibe skills.
Okay.
Yeah. I watched Scoob. The kids had me buy it, or at least Christian. We watched it at least 5 times since it's been out the last 2 days.
Nice.
So it's I'm not even exaggerating. It's been back to back to back. yesterday before we went outside to play. Put it on last night when he fell asleep. Threw it on today. So the man's been into it. So, you know, like you said, I could see how the kids could have went over the kids' head, but they were just so amped for the movie that they just enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? They already quoting it already.
Yeah.
So it was a fun watch. Like you said, with the Hanna-Barbera, I was like, man, I recognize these characters, man. Where are they from? I recognize them. I kept saying that to myself. But now that you said it, I'm like, that's what it is. What was that, a Speed Racer or something like that?
Wacky Racing.
Yeah, that's right.
But man, they had Johnny Quest in there. They had Captain Caveman in there, which felt really random. Not gonna lie. They had, of course, you know, like all the characters from Wacky Racers. They had Hex Girls from that one Scooby-Doo movie. They had a poster of them. They had the Banana Splits. I don't know if you guys remember them. And I need to like rewatch it. That's just the stuff that I remember. That like it was definitely made in reverence of like older fans. And that to me that was actually one of the downsides because I felt like they had like a lot of adult jokes in there that kids aren't going to get. And like not in the way where like a kid is still going to laugh, but like a kid is like, I really don't know what this means, so I'm gonna just sit here awkwardly as my parents laugh. So it was a good. I know you don't watch cartoons, Madison, man, but I can't even say I would suggest it for you, unless like you said, if you knew those characters and wanted to have like, oh, that was cool how they introduced those other characters. Yeah.
So I'm guessing Warner Brothers owns Hanna-Barbera, man?
Yeah, I'd imagine so. I'd have to fact check that, but it makes sense. Because even though the old Scooby-Doo movie was a Warner Brothers film, the old Scooby-Doo movies, the first live action ones.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Because I just watched, what was it? Well, just going like, you know, saying that crossover, you know, they had that thing with Spider-Man and Sony, you know, Batman versus Superman, like, not Superman, whatever, you know, they always got these little things that they got to buy in the studio, so it's crazy to see those mashovers. But the other thing I watched that I got into, finally watched was Walking Dead. I fell off of that for years, but like, you know, we had time. I went back and caught that. And then like, I didn't read the graphic novels, but my brother, you know, was telling me, cause he read them all. So he finally watched them. He was just like, yeah, man, it's crazy to see how they gonna go into this. But you know, that show is just so damn full of commentary, man. You got to get past them having these little sidebar speeches all the time. Like, you know, they got to fill in with time. But it's cool, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I never read the book, but he be saying, oh, yeah, these characters are coming in, this group. And I'm like, oh, man, that's what's up. So he already knows what's happening. And to me, it's all new. And I get hyped. And then it's like, all right, man, I got to hear them talk. It would be cool if it was just one big movie one day. And then What We Do in the Shadows. So I saw this movie a long time ago. And then I started watching it on FX. It's a series, kind of like The Office mixed with, I don't know, Interview with the Vampire. But it's funny. That's why I like it. It's hilarious to me, man. So it's just something to watch. So those are a couple things that I knew that I've recently watched.
Oh yeah, Newman. I finally got around to watching The Hunt. I enjoyed it.
Man, I still didn't watch it yet. I gotta watch it.
Oh man, yeah,
I gotta rewatch that.
It's a fun movie. They have a lot of really great dialogue, really cool action pieces. So I think you'll really enjoy it, Madison.
Yeah, that's on my queue.
And again, you have to, like, cause there's not really any downtime in the movie, man. It's pretty boom, 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 boom. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they keep you entertained, but it all like meshes together well.
Right. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with that movie. Good.
I think the only thing that I've seen is I finally got around to watching that Seven Deadly Sins on Netflix.
Okay, what'd you think of it?
I liked it, man. At first it was like I didn't like it, but I just kept watching it just to see if it got, it's like sometimes with anime, you got to like get through some episodes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's one thing people don't know with anime. It's like sometimes you just got to like power through like 6, 7, sometimes in the case of One Piece, 60 episodes. Right. You just got to power through them. And then they get like real good. It's basically, I say the same thing for that. Like you got to get past probably episode 10 and then it starts getting real good. So, but I mean, that's all I'm gonna say. I mean, I finished it. Hopefully they got the new seasons coming up soon because I mean, like I'm late on that, right? That's been out for a while, so it was something I never really wanted to watch. But the only thing I will say is they got a lot of arbitrary, like random, like sometimes when they have like just a random power show up with no explanation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then they cover themselves. They give you a quick one. There's a ton of that. In the show. So it's like, I don't know. I would recommend it though. I would definitely recommend it because it does get pretty good towards the back end. But that's basically about the only thing that I've really been watching. I started working on a new comic, so that's one of the things that I've been doing too. So
a new series or a new episode?
Yeah. I started writing a new series that I'm gonna try to do once we finish the final chapters of Aka. That's
I was wondering
the thing that I work on.
Nice.
What's that?
I was wondering because you said that you just talked to your artist, so I kind of figured that you were cooking up some. So kind of the same for me as well. I guess I kind of have a bit of an announcement. Flight Angel is currently on a little bit of pause. And here's why. I guess this is kind of news and information, so I apologize if I'm jumping the gun. We can talk about it more there, but Shonen Jump has opened up their Tezuka contest internationally now. And so as, like listeners may remember, we talked about the prospect of doing a one-shot earlier on our episodes. And that's essentially what Shonen Jump is looking for. They're opening up their contest for you to be able to do a one-shot. And if you win, your stuff is going to be judged by Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball Z, the creator of Blue Exorcist, the creator of Slam Junk, and someone else. I can't. Give me just a second because I'm actually going to pull it up real quick. Akira Toriyama, Dragon Ball, Ichiro Oda, One Piece, Kazue Kato, Blue Exorcist, Kohei Horikoshi, My Hero Academia, Takehiko Inoue, Slam Dunk, and then the rest of Tezuka Productions. Those are going to be the judges for this international contest. The thing that's so huge about this is that Shonen Jump never opens up the submissions for everybody. It's always just been a Japan-only thing. So I'm putting my hat in the ring.
So what's the contest entail though? Like, is it like you said it's a one shot? So is it just like a prize money thing, or is it
Yeah.
You know
so
what I mean? Like, let's see.
If you win, you get 2 million yen. Second prize gets 1 million yen, and then the honorable mention gets 5,000 yen. So that's the cash prize. Then you get an invitation to a party out there, all expenses included, where you'll actually be able to get to meet these artists as well. And your stuff will be actually published in Shonen Jump magazine. Now, you may not be able to get a deal out of it. I don't know that, for a fact, but at least if you won, your comic will be translated in Japanese and placed in Shonen Jump's magazine.
Didn't they do something like that? I don't know who did something like it. Somebody did something like that, maybe like 6 years ago. Maybe it was
Tokyo Pop Rising Stars of Manga. It was a yearly competition that was only for Americans. But Tokyo Pop.
This one I'm talking about, this one was international, because I remember reading the top 5, and like the dude that won was from Europe somewhere.
Yes.
And he had like some story about vampires fighting in World War II alongside the Allies. It was very interesting. But that's the person who won. I think it was Shonen Jump, but it might have been Viz. It was Shonen Jump or Viz, or maybe it was a joint between Viz Media and Shonen Jump. Somebody's gonna know out there on the internet when they listen to this.
Yeah, they are.
But I remember reading the winners one, and I actually liked it. But I remember the one thing I will say is I remember the way they were doing it is they were judging like everything on it, like the artwork, you know what I mean, the technique, pacing, the story itself. Like they're saying like a lot of people had good stories, but their artwork wasn't what they would expect, or it wasn't like what they wanted. And I think, and also one of the things I noticed is they're looking at it from a very Japanese perspective on art. So
yes,
it's like their qualities, not like Western art qualities. So like that was one of the things that I noticed. Like when I looked at who they were picking, they're basically picking most of the people that really stuck to kind of what you would expect to see coming out of Japan versus anything else.
Yeah, that's actually true, and you do have to create your comic like right to left as if you are making it an actual manga. That is one of the rules. You can submit up to 2 works, at most 55 pages each, but you need to have conclusive beginning, middle, and end. And yeah. One of the things that Toriyama actually said is that that's something that he's not looking for. He wants you to be as creative on this as possible, and as innovative, while still getting the audience's eye. So that's one of the things that he's looking for. It's strange because like if you actually go on a website, all of these guys are really looking for essentially different things. So
yeah, good luck.
Yeah, but I'm doing it.
You already know what your idea is going to be?
Yeah, it's a world that I've already crafted a little while ago. And so I'm taking my script from then and kind of revamping it and turning it into a one-shot. It was one of those stories where I didn't have enough material to do like a whole thing. But it was an idea that I really thought was worth continuing. So having the opportunity to make a one shot out of it, it's exciting. I'm not even gonna lie.
Oh, that's what's up. I mean, congrats, good luck. I know that's sometimes you know what, you got to take a break and try something new, man. Not new, but get something that will get you more exposure. So it sounds like this is it.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll start following you and keeping an eye on you in your work from that, even if you don't win. But I got faith in my brother, so I put my bets on you taking it all.
Hey, I appreciate that, bro. I really do. But yeah, I'm gonna work my ass off with this. So
when's the contest closed? Do you know? So
September. I have from now until September.
Okay. Yeah. So anybody listening can check that out too.
Oh yeah.
That's what they're trying to do.
It's the Shonen Jump Tezuka contest. Tezuka. And just do a Google search of that, and you'll be able to find it.
Cool.
So sorry, I know that I kind of completely shifted the momentum.
No, you good. That's good information for people too. The people have to go check out the criteria and stuff if that's something that they're interested in. I mean, there's not really a ton of contests like that out there for comic creators. So whenever these things come up, it's definitely good to go after them.
And when you find out about the contest, do you follow them online, or do you just like look up, that type of manga content, and you just came into it?
No, I came across it on YouTube. One of the YouTubers that I watch, for Neverworld, really great anime news reporter. He kind of came out and expressed that this contest was going on. He's dope. He's actually working on his own project right now. I don't know if he's the artist and the story writer, but I do know that he's at least writing the story for it. And it seems pretty interesting. So if anybody, is looking for a reputable anime news reporter to check out, for Neverworld on YouTube, he's definitely a great source. Humble guy, too. He's a great guy.
Cool.
That's what's up. Yeah, I'm checking it out. It says this is 100th anniversary special.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's crazy. There's so much out there. There's so much out there in the world that we don't have access to, or if you're not looking, it just shoots by you, man. So that's awesome to have access to that, man.
Yeah. Any other news coming up? I know. I guess a touch on some of the July movies. The things that were pushed back to July. I don't even know if they just might continue to push things back, because I know Mulan's supposed to be coming out in July, but who knows now, right? I mean, I guess places are starting to open up now, but they might keep pushing it back till they feel like they can fill the theaters, or just go straight to Disney Plus with everything.
Yeah.
I wonder what Disney's gonna do with that.
I'm interested because they and talk about pushing back. I'm interested in the numbers that Scoob did, and movies that came directly like Onward and stuff. And I say that because maybe that's a way that they shift, where they're marketing, and instead of coming out in theaters, man, maybe it'll be more profitable to send it directly to consumers. So I'm interested in seeing what those numbers do, where you don't have to rely on like a big opening at a movie theater. You know what I mean?
So I read an article that basically said that movie studios have actually kind of been waiting for a chance like this to show up, so that they wouldn't have to continue to share their profits with movie theaters. The sad thing, and I didn't know this, is that first weekend, like that opening weekend, is actually when the theater makes the least amount of money. It's subsequent weekends that most movie theaters make their money. So if the production studios can find a way to be able to get all the profit to themselves, this might be the wave. I hope it's not, because I love going to the movie theaters.
But that's the thing. I think a lot of people like going to see the movies they really want to see at the theaters. Mm-hmm. So I don't know I feel like there's no way. Like you talk about, I guess, like the opening week numbers for like some of the biggest movies, especially like with Marvel and what they do now. I feel like there's no way they can match those numbers releasing something like Endgame straight to rental. You know what I mean? Because it's just not that experience, right? I feel like people aren't gonna go out to see it like that if it's just or order it like that, like they would go to the theaters to see it because it's just right there. I'll check it next week or I'll check it the week after that. And you know they don't have that whole their big screen experience with the 3D and stuff. So
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like I feel like I don't know, but they're talking about how now it might be back to drive-through movies might be back. Drive-ins.
Yo, I'd be with that.
Because of this.
I'd be with that. I love going to the drive-in theaters. You go with your best friends, man, it's lit. Summertime, lit. Absolutely lit.
It's definitely underrated. We take the kids multiple times a year. And it's a fun time, man. It's a fun time. Laid out in your car and everything. But there's just because movie theaters we still have $1 movie theater where movies you used to get that movie like 3 months after it came out, but you'll get it cheaper. It used to be like 50-cent Tuesdays. I haven't gone in years, probably a decade, but I know it still exists. I don't know what the cost is, but I think those are always they might not be multiple theaters, but I think movie theaters are always going to exist in some fashion or form. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they're not. Yeah, drive-in though, man. That's still a go-to. Like we were gonna go see the Scoob at a drive-in since they have these phases to open up their country.
Right.
Drive-ins were one of them. They because you've been social distancing drive-in except when you go into the concession stands since the beginning of time. So it's it was no dumb thought to open drive-ins back up, and I know it was going to be crowded. I think we had to buy our tickets in advance if we were going to do it. But we'll see. Oh
yeah. The best thing about the drive-in is you get them 2 movies instead of the one.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you always only want to see one of the movies.
Right.
you don't ever want to see both of them. Right. And they always pair the weirdest movies together. Like, I remember I went once back in the day with my family, and it was Independence Day, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then it was Fear, this, like, thriller with Mark Wahlberg, where he was, like, some psycho boyfriend. It was, like, a weird mix of movies.
Yeah, that's a little strange.
That's crazy, man. Those are that's a weird pairing.
Yeah.
I think I saw Who Framed Roger Rabbit and E.T. together. It was something like that. Or one of the Back to the Futures.
Yeah, no, that is as weird as what Madison just said.
Yeah, it was like a weird
family films. Golly.
Right. Glad you mentioned that shonen contest because like I said, they don't do a lot of those, so people should definitely try to jump on that if they can.
Yeah. And I mean, like, if it's any indication, y'all, I was 20 pages away from finishing my first chapter of Twilight Angel. And I decided to put that on pause for this. Like, this is a very important opportunity. So if you got a story idea, try it. Even if you don't win, the act of completing a full comic on your own and having the potential to have some of the greats put notes on your stuff, that's incredible. That's something that that's just something you don't want to squander.
Yeah, and it's even good. I would suggest people too, like as you go through it, even yourself, Ray, as you go through it, let people know you're doing the contest and kind of market yourself that way. You know what I mean? It's like it's kind of a cheap way to tie yourself to a bigger name than you, and let people follow along with it, with your progress, and just let them know you're entering the contest, and that'll help with all the other stuff that you got going on.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Thank you for that.
Yeah, but I guess we could kind of try to get into the main thing then. Basically, I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about sales and selling your comics or your books or your artwork in regards to the coronavirus now, because, I mean, a lot of people, like there are some people that just go to conventions all year. Like, I mean, that's what they do. They go to 15, 16, 17. They basically that's their job, especially for artists. Like, some artists do so well at these conventions, selling their artwork, or like if they're like a crafts person, like that's their full-time job. is going to conventions and just selling their stuff. You know what I mean? Like they go convention to convention across the country and sell their artwork and stuff. But now all that stuff is canceled. So, you know, I think people are going to have to start, even when this is over, I guess, as over as it can be, I think people are going to have to start getting more creative with where they're going to sell their stuff and their approach to making sales. So I kind of wanted to just touch on that and just talk about kind of ideas and different avenues in which people can do that. So I guess the first and the obvious, of course, would be the internet, right? Different avenues for that. You can do, of course, if you're making comics, there's always Amazon and Comixology. I think we talked about that a little bit, but I guess for I guess more details, you know, you could use Amazon as your distribution source for your comics, basically selling everything on there and then having them mail your stuff out. I would just say, if you're going to do that, you want to be a person with like a higher volume, because if you're going to make any money from them, you're definitely going to want to be sending them, because how they do their purchase orders, they usually do a large order, and then based on what you're selling on Amazon, they do reorders. But shipping can be expensive, so you generally want to make sure you have a whole bunch of comics printed up so you can send them a lot at one time, so that you don't have to deal with shipping, you know, once a month. And, you know, even if it's just $10, $20, $30 a month, that can still eat into your profits over time. But that's one of the things that people can do. Of course, I wonder, like I don't know if digital comics are going to be, you know, like I said, in a previous thing, is they don't release sales numbers on digital comics, probably because they're not great. I know on our end, they're just okay. People actually buy more physical copies with our comics than they do any of the digital comics. But I wonder if that'll pick up, because I'm worried about comic book shops. They don't have a lot of cash on hand to begin with, and now this coronavirus is coming. I wonder how many of them are even going to be around when things start to reopen. You know, they might have closed their doors for good back in March and didn't even know it.
Yeah. Casual books aren't that fluid.
Yeah. So like that's one thing people can think about. You guys got any thoughts on that?
Yeah. The thing that comes to mind, knowing what we're doing as a business owner, you know, within the family, is my mom has, and she's in a different business, but my brother is in the art field. He has, you know, an art gallery,
right.
You know, blank canvas. But you can, try to reach out to restaurants and to sports franchises, and to see if they do any freelance work, like whether you're a cartoonist or they need someone to write their what do you call it, menus or their programs. They freelance that out, and that's going to be something I talk to towards the end of the show a little bit more. But also government contracts. So if you sign up on government programs, you got to look within your county and state. It don't matter what the industry is. You can sign up to get on a government contract, and they'll pay you. You write the proposal or bid, and they'll get a lot of people. And you can do this with artwork when they're you see some art on the side of a building, on a historical building, or they'll know who so you could bid out. There's just so many different avenues where you can still use your talents and get paid for it. And especially with the government, you know, you can get a grant, or else they can put you in direct contact with someone who's looking to do some type of work that you might want done, whether it's working with a school or other businesses, state buildings, but whether it's writing or visual artwork, they will take and they'll put a bid in. So those are some avenues that you might want to look out at within your county or within your state. On their website, you could go on their website, or else just Google search it. And I don't have anything more direct unless you do have your own business. They go to the SBA office in your local counties, and then they'll have more access and direct information on how you can do that. Put your business, put your sole propriety name in that bucket. And then, like I said, when bids come out for artwork or someone they need to done that has some writing done in some form or fashion, you can put yourself in that. Not only are you getting exposure, but like I said, the government's going to be paying you for this, or else that company. But it's just a way that you can always have income coming in. So that's two ways that you can look to do that.
Yeah,
really good information.
Yeah, that's good information. That's a good idea, especially like you said, for like freelance people who are hurting right now because, like I said, they're getting their money from actually seeing people, which is a lot of people. That's generally how it's been done for the human history, is where you make your money through human interaction. But it's an interesting time, and it's definitely going to be time for people to get creative. One of the things that I was thinking about too is I'll be paying a lot of attention to, like, because I spoke, like I said, Will touched on just comic book shops, and if they're going to be able to even stay open, and how many are going to even be able to stay open, is that I'll be looking to see about, or paying attention to what Marvel and DC and Image and those guys are going to do. Because, I mean, comic book shops is where they sell their comics at. So if there aren't any comic book shops, where are they going to sell their comics at? Right. I'm sure they're thinking about that too. So I'll be paying attention to some of the announcements and moves that they're making currently in regards to not like movies and stuff, but specifically to their comics. To see exactly, to see if they've got any hints on, if they're going to make a shift. Are they going to push digital more? Are they going to be, moving, doing something different with their approach? Not that their approach to selling comics has been great for the past 10 years anyway, but, or even if they're going to one of the things I'll be curious to see is if they say, you know what, we're going to just scale back on making comics as it is, and we're not even going to make comics like that anymore because the movies are doing so well, stuff like that. So those are things that I'll be paying attention to.
You would think that Marvel would open up maybe like a grant program right now to kind of, or even a loan program where they can actually help, comic book stores keep their doors open. I don't know, how wide our reach is, but I do believe that, that would be a key way to kind of, ensure that they have somewhere to sell their stuff. Because, yeah, you're right. If they don't have a comic book store, how are they going to sell their comics? Me personally, so I'm a little weird. I only ever read digitally what I buy physically. So, this morning before we did our call, I actually read My Hero Academia and Promise Neverland. But on my bookshelf, you'll see that I actually have those volumes. I'm just waiting for it to catch up with the American release. Right. Of course, with the Knowles closing that thing. And yes, I'm not gonna buy them online. It's not the same. But I'm someone I like supporting the official release, but I still like getting the information. And I know that there are a lot of people like that, you know, will read digitally, but they like to own stuff physically as well. Because it's not the same. Going back and trying to reference something, going back and trying to remember certain plot points. Yeah, you have the internet, but having your own stuff just feels so much better.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I like holding the comic.
Yeah.
And, just knowing, like, I read that there's approximately around 2,300 stores in North America. You know, so there's 50 states. So, you know, I don't do math all quick in the head like that, but I know just around me, there's about 4 that I can count off the top of my head, comic book stores. Even if it's a Sunday before the pandemic, there was always someone in a comic book store. Mm. So, you know what I mean? They when they came up to my brother's gallery, they see all types of stuff in there. You know, we have manga art and things of the such. People always say, do you guys have comic books? We do, but they're like limited editions to show off, not to really sell. So I know people are always going to want those comic books. How they're going to be affected, that's a great, you know, enigma to try to figure out. Like you said, that's a great idea to follow Marvel, because I'm ready to see what's the next step. Like when they start slowly bringing businesses back. Because I know people are hurting. During this time when you got nothing else to do, heck yeah, I'll read a comic. I ain't got nothing else to do. I can't go to my job yet or whatnot. So, you know, and then during your leisure time, how are they going to get those comics? And they're probably buying them all online. So, but, you know, then you got to wait for it to come, opposed to just going to get it, man. Like, so the comic book stores, if you want, you know, those people, they might still be in debt, still paying, and our comic book stores to help them pay that debt off. Man, it might be a great time to open up a comic book store. In my mind, not to the extent like a huge one, but if there's some properties going to be low too, so maybe open up a comic book store, you know, make some money that way. That's just how I look at things. I'm always looking at how you can take advantage of a bad situation. Right. So, like I said, it's so niche, and those people who are into comics are everywhere. Like you said, there's an international contest going on right now. So, man, maybe take advantage. And if you have $1,500 a month, I know that sounds like a lot, but you know, if you can find a way to get a store for the low, you can try to negotiate prices. Man, maybe open up a comic book store. Maybe be that distributor to Marvel and DC, and you'll be able to work out some better deals. Now, that's just how I look at, like I said, looking at different angles moving forward, possibly.
Hey, you know what's crazy? Comics were like initially created to give hope. You know what I mean? Like with Superman and stuff, like it was created, you know, like not as a distraction or as a way to, you know, like quote unquote kill brain cells, as some 90s parents might think. But they were created as an opportunity to give hope and to help people, you know, like deal with the circumstances of everything that was going on around them. You know, like with Superman, it was World War II. And so, like, I really do believe that the comic book market right now is something that can really help a lot of people, especially like with times like this.
Yeah.
So if we could figure out a way to even tap into just that aspect again, I do believe that comics will flourish through this.
Yeah, I mean, sure. It's but it'll be, like I said, it'll be interesting to see. I think as far as like with people pushing stuff, I think, you know, the funny thing is because everybody's in front of just like, I mean, everybody's home, so they're just in front of screens and stuff. It's definitely a good time to, for people, I feel like if you haven't been advertising a lot or just reaching out a lot, it's a good time to do that now, even for like I know, I've just been kind of going back and putting up some old stuff like Unicorn Melee, and just digging back into that as far as marketing goes, just because people are just in front of the screens all the time. So people that haven't touched it yet or seen it or heard of it yet, I feel like I can reach out to them now. And then, like I said, you can try to push things through different avenues, even through networking, and people kind of just coming together to kind of share each other's work. You know what I mean? Things like that. Doing like, people are, if you've got other artists that you know that are in your community and stuff, and they've got things out, this is definitely a good time. You guys should be sharing each other's work to kind of get the word out, as well as if you as well as kind of looking for ways to make sure you have full control over how you're going to be distributing your comic and stuff like that. You don't want to be stuck. Like, I know I mentioned Amazon earlier and Comixology, but you also want to have an avenue in which you can get your stuff to people yourself, without worrying about them, because you don't know what they're going to do for the next couple of months. I mean, Comixology isn't going to change, but with Amazon, you don't know what they're going to do. They might change their percentage rates, and they might change their rules on certain things as far as how much storage they do. They have delivery issues. I mean, every delivery company has delivery issues. So even if you're mailing stuff out yourself, I guess especially for sales, is I'll be looking more into attacking the digital aspect of it, and seeing kind of where that goes on different venues. One of the things that I've been thinking about doing too is possibly even just throwing up one of my comics, like almost like pirating my own comic, and reaching out to some of these scanulation sites and just saying, hey, take this and put it up. You know what I mean? Like if it's something that's older, and then just to garner interest in the name for the publishing company and future works, so people come and check out the new stuff. That's something that I've been mulling over myself, just in regards to this, because like I said, people are just home now consuming things. I just watched, like I mentioned earlier, before we really started the podcast, was like that not Ben Affleck, Adam Sandler, Jennifer Aniston movie on Netflix. I'll never watch that if I wasn't stuck in quarantine with nothing to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not something that I would have ever checked out. But I'm here. So that's another thing too, is like, I feel like people are definitely more open to just, because, they're just trying to find things to entertain them. So they're going to look at things they usually wouldn't entertain, because they have the time. So don't write a certain demographic off either, I think, as far as sales go, right now anyway. Feel it out. Maybe you tried to go through or go through an avenue in the past that didn't work out. Well, now's a good time to try it again, because there may be more, fish in that spot, if you will. Like, you go fishing and at this one spot, there's never any fish, but then one day, there's a rain and one part is all like nasty, and the one spot that isn't nasty is a spot you never catch any fish. You throw your line out there, you might catch some fish. So like, I'm going back over, like I'm retreading almost a lot of stuff, and I would encourage a lot of people to do that too.
Smart, yeah. And there's another, and man, if they listening, hopefully they could throw with some cheese to culture a mass. But house party, that house party app. I saw that there are a lot of celebs like having hosting parties and things like that. Maybe you can have a reading of your material on there, or just use like you said, all avenues that you wouldn't have used before, but use that as a marketing tool. Facebook or Instagram Live. I never use it. I don't. But like you said, man, maybe it's a chance to throw some of my artwork into that avenue, just to talk about it real quick. It don't have to be long, but just some exposure that, like, retread. Like you said, that's great advice, man.
But anybody else got any ideas on, I guess, like navigating this whole situation and ideas people can have to do things?
I'll touch on all the ones I thought of.
Oh,
yeah, no, I mean
go ahead, Ray.
No, I was going to say, like, that's pretty much it. And, like, I do like what you said about their whole retreading thing. Another thing, and I said this last time, but a lot of people are using this as an opportunity to get their ideas launched, too. And so, like, still having yourself open in a way to, if you have the time, of course, but to, build up your clientele, because now's the time to do it. And they're going to remember, oh, yeah, you're the artist that did, like, great work for me while there was a pandemic going on. And they might come to you. Like right now, I'm doing a album cover for someone who has been buying my art for the last 2 years. And so, just building that rapport and those relationships, all that, basic stuff where you're like, oh, well, I already know that. It's really good to still explore that because you never know where those relationships are one day going to take you.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, don't use quarantine as a excuse to sleep more. Use it, as a chance to do more.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So even if you're still working, when you get home, you ain't got a chance to go to happy hour because everything's still closed. Or,
right.
What we used to do in our free time, even outside of work, has been reduced. So, fill it up, like you said, with not sleeping, but finding new ways to market your clientele if you can, or just to think differently.
Yeah.
Act differently.
Because I believe that the world's going to be completely different after all this is over. Like, I don't really see people just re-emerging and partying all the time and stuff. Like, they might try, but I really do believe that, like, this is the time for creatives to really solidify their markets. So, without, the distractions of everything going on.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's all I really had on it, too,
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Making the best out of it.
I guess I'll go ahead and just kind of wrap it up. Then any shout-outs anybody want to give?
Yeah, so the two people I wanted to shout out was local artists are local to Cleveland. The one guy is Nate Austin. He does some great visual work with pen. But his handle, you can find him on Instagram, is art_by_Nate Austin. And then the second guy is John G. Now, he can be found at like Shiner Comics. But as I mentioned earlier, comics who are taking advantage of freelancing out to local professional teams and restaurants. He's done some artworks behind the Lake Erie Monsters logo and team mascot, and also a restaurant, Melt Restaurant. He's done the menu and drawings all around the restaurant. And this the restaurant was one of those that like popular food places that I've found on the Food Network. One of those guys who bounces around. So Melt was one of the featured places. So, again, John G. And I think that's at John G on Instagram, but I know you can find him at shinercomics.com. But just different avenues of people to look at and see what they're doing to make money during this tough times as well.
Okay.
Right.
That's cool. There's an artist on Instagram, Balek, Balek. Their Instagram is Balek. They are the co-creator of Last Man, Pipudo, Vermin, and Les Casos. They've done like a lot of animation stuff, but they also do comic work as well. Really creative, art style as far as anime goes. They tend to focus on like drawing females, with a lot of their stuff, but it's really great. The proportions are a little exaggerated sometimes, and maybe even a little adult, but this is someone that really, really knows their stuff, and I don't know if they're male or female, but the artwork, I've been following it for about 2 years now, and it's phenomenal.
Cool. I guess I'll give my shout out to Manuel Godoy. He does this comic called Kids to Kings, and I run into him. He's basically at every comic convention that I'm at, and he does really well. He's really good at pushing his product and selling it as well. So, but you can check out his title, Kids to Kings. It almost has a Dragon Ball Z type feel. You can definitely tell that that's part of the inspiration of where it came from. But it essentially takes place in like Egypt, and the kids got powers and stuff, and they're like punching each other in the faces. It's pretty decent. And you can check him out at Black Sands Entertainment. He's got his own website. He does his own distribution and stuff like that as well, so you can get most of his stuff directly from his website. But yeah, check that out as well. That's my shout out. You guys want to wrap it up again and just let everybody know where they can find you at, Newman? You want to go ahead?
Yeah, Chris Newman 216, and that's on Instagram. Best way to reach me.
Raymond Youngblood. You can find me on Instagram at Ray's Arts, RAIZ_ARCS.
Cool. And again, this is Madison Hawthorne. You're listening to Culture Unmasked. You can find us at Golden Tree Publishing on Instagram, Golden Tree Publishing on Facebook, and Golden Tree TV on YouTube. Again, you can find this podcast on YouTube as well as Podbean, Google Play, and iTunes. It should be up on iTunes now. So just check us out wherever you can find us, and hit us up if you want to hear something from us or a certain topic. Have a good day.